Hi, everybody. My name is Chuck Warner.
And I'm Dana Abbott.
Several years ago, we wrote a book called Eddie Reese Coaching, Swimming, Teaching Life. This is circulated throughout the world and a very popular book for teaching and training coaches. Understandably, that Eddie is one of the greatest swimming coaches that there's ever been, and many recognize him as one of the greatest coaches of any sport that there has ever been. So we'd like to just tell you a little bit about what's in chapter 11 training of this book today. Dana, you want to start us out?
Yeah, one of the things we learned, and a lot of coaches know this, but you just cannot keep doing the same training year after year after year, or you're going to get diminished results. One of the things that we learned from Eddie and have incorporated into our coaching in the years since is that you have to increase the workload every year, or you're not going to challenge the individual swimmer. They have to be challenged, or they're going to plateau. And it's just like in weightlifting, you don't stay with the same weight for an entire season. You keep adding it because you need to get stronger, and the only way you can do that is by uh, incremental overload.
Yeah, I remember visiting practice one time years after we were there, and Eddie gave it was the 100 freestyler, one of their best in history, and I'm forgetting his name. He was 47.4, I think, in the 100 free long course, and he gave him this little set, and he turned to me. He said, "That'll." This was a Thursday visit, maybe, or a Friday visit. He said, "That'll keep him tired till next Tuesday." And he wasn't trying to brag on how difficult it was. It was getting late in the season, and he was just trying to give him a little dose of medicine, so to speak, that would get him tired, but they would have to recover and adjust from. I think a really interesting aspect of Eddie's training is that when we were there in the early years, he was more known for sprint events, hundreds of the strokes, 100 freestyle, 50 freestyle, 200 IM. But later in his career, the dominant swimmers at Texas were 400 IM, 500 free. He really evolved over time into a more broad base of training for many different events. This is Ian Crocker, 100 butterfly. And maybe at the end, people would even say at Texas could have been a little better in sprint in the 50 and the 100. Always learning, always trying to get better.
Yeah, you have to do that, obviously. And Eddie keeps it light still. You know, everybody knows Eddie's got a great sense of humor, sometimes very sly sense of humor, but they work so hard in the fall, and the guys get that. You know, they look forward to it. They know what's coming around the corner, and that they're going to be a whole lot more successful when they get it socked to them in October.
And an Eddieism is if you're never tired, you're not trying to get better. In other words, you've got to have times that you're just not going to be really fast during the year if you're going to improve a lot for for the end of the year.
And their swimmers say that, you know, that we know we're going to be swimming slow in our dual meets. We just know it. But it pays off at the end of the season for sure. 15 national championships. Can't argue with that.
So we have in chapter 11 some samples of training sets and some comments from some of his swimmers over the years, and hope you take a look at it.
The book is a great read, and if you get the audio book, it's an absolutely fantastic listen because it's got the added voice of Eddie Reese himself.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.